So this is the Phase 2 engineering unit box here that you can see has the ESN for unit listed on the outside, and that will correspond to the physical unit, and you'll see that on the data stream as well. We've got 3 sets of documentation for you here. A 1-page paper that's a quick start guide that's just quick and dirty, gives you an overview of how to start the unit up and actually get it running. An engineering model setup procedure document. That this was basically a super stripped down version of this. This will describe what's in the box, give you some help on understanding the unit, walk you through accessing the dashboard, and then walk you through how to start viewing data locally on the unit. And then this would be an interface control document or an ICD that helps interface with the flight unit.
Okay.
So there's some slight differences in the engineering unit and the flight unit. And so this would be more what you'd use for the engineering unit, and the ICD would be what you'd use working a payload with the flight unit.
Okay.
So I'm going to put this one away for now since we're only using the engineering unit. Inside the box we've got 2 main pieces of hardware. We've got the cables here, which is basically a micro B or an Android phone charger going into a USB cable, and power supply here.
Okay.
It's really important that these are plugged in before we plug this into the ThinSat, and I'll probably stress that again later.
Okay, so we must plug in this and this
Yes.
before we get to that guy.
Right, or you could damage the unit.
Okay.
That's it grounded properly?
I think it's to prevent surges.
Okay.
We can cut out all this time of
Okay.
in between.
Yeah, we got it.
Cool. So we've got the actual unit, the fun stuff here. So you can open this top plate up, and so we've got a 3D printed black frame here that's mounted onto the actual engineering unit PC board, and then a polycarbonate cover with some laminate paper on it to give you an idea of what's actually going to be on that.
Okay.
You know, so it's just a PC board on the bottom with a fake battery glued in there.
Okay.
So as I'm sure you know, the layout of this is the payload is taking up this whole left half of the inside of the ThinSat. On the right here is the whole the ThinSat bus that NSL is doing. So we'd have the transmitter in there and processors and electronics into the battery and stuff like that. So do you have any questions about the unit so far?
No, so far so good.
Great. Okay, so first thing we need to do is install the software. So we'll have it on the quick start and on the actual setup procedures here. You can basically use any type of terminal software that you have as long as it can display raw hex. We recommend real-term software. We've also found YAT or CoolTerm works as well, but all the screenshots are going to be from real-term.
Okay.
Great, so we just download the latest version of real-term there. Green on there.
That was pretty fast.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go next,
Yeah, just keep letting
Next.
it do its thing.
next, install, and finish.
Great. So now if you'd like to open real-term up. type in real term to the search bar there.
Okay.
Simplify things.
And the
If
utility.
you just click it,
desk-
well, it's remote desktop there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so we've got that main console there for real term. We've got to set a few parameters. Before we can do that, we have to plug in the USB and the power
Okay.
so that it can have an actual COM port to connect to. So we'd like to start that.
And we've got a power monitor.
Try to not make a huge mess of cables here.
So we've got our USB and our power plugged in.
Great, so now we can set a few parameters. I'm going to look here on the section 9 under running the software of the EM unit setup procedures. So first we need to set the baud rate to 4800 under the port tab. We gotta scroll down to find where. There we go. 4800. Oh, it was down there. Okay, now all the other parameters should come default set correctly, except for port. So if we click on the drop down for port, right there, and then on the double click to scan ports, we just changed the flow control. Hardware flow control should go back to none there. Now if we click on that again,
Double click it.
don't double click it.
Okay.
I would just double click up there. Yeah, double click on that. Great. So it looks like we got port 8 is the one that we're looking for. So we select that. Now if we select the green check mark of change. All right, we are good to go. So let's plug this unit in. This cable plugs into the ThinSat diagnostic port, which is here on the left side. Looks
Okay.
just like an Android phone charger. So I'm going to turn this around so we can have access to it. In. We should see. Start to stream. Looks like it says your port is closed right now for some reason.
Wait, you want to unplug that?
Let's try to rescan for that port now. Let's say port is closed. Huh. Never had to do that before. But
You want me to try one of mine over here on this side?
yeah, why don't we do that? Maybe it was something we accidentally put. Okay, so if the port says closed on the little status bar on the bottom right of real term, you may need to click the open button under the port tab to allow data to stream. So I've done that, and now I'm going to plug it in again. I can plug in my own unit. All right, so we just saw the first set of data running through there. We can see the date that the firmware was uploaded, the revision number, and the ESN, or the serial number of the unit itself, which for this, I guess I won't say it out loud. So after that first packet of ASCII data, it's the health and safety packets will begin to get transmitted after that. Those are all in hex data, so we're going to need to go under the display tab and change display as from ASCII to hex space. And now we'll begin to see the payload data streaming in hex characters.
Okay.
It's recording.
Okay, so we can see the first packet of health and safety there. If there's no payload inside of the ThinSat engineering model, it's just going to have one health and safety packet every 15 seconds. If there's, say, a MEDO payload or a TSL payload or a custom payload in there, that there'll be two packets that are transmitted every 15 seconds. And they may be a little bit delayed. There may be 5 seconds between them or something like that. But the rate is going to be every 15 seconds. Those will be transmitted. Do you have any questions about that stuff?
No.
So far?
So far, so good.
Great. So we've verified now that we've got an end-to-end test that's working. We're seeing data streaming on your terminal program. The next step would be to actually download that data, from the real-time program and run it through some parsing to actually start looking at the analogs and the temperature and the count. So in the last page of the EM setup procedures, we've got a data parsing section. Right now it's only including the parsing for the health and safety packets. Of course, if you have MEDO or if you have a TSL board, you're going to need the parsing for those boards as well. We can see each of these packets has 48 bytes. Bytes 0 through 29 are useful to us. After that, it's mostly gibberish. Within those bytes that are useful, there's some headers, there's a serial number, there's 6 analog inputs, a temperature reading, 4 digital inputs, and a packet count.
Okay.
If we then download this data and say we plot it, we have it in Excel or MATLAB or something like that, we can use these conversion factors here on the right side of the table to find what the actual values are and start having fun with it and playing around with it.
Sounds good.
Yeah. Do you have any questions? Anything that you think would be useful?
So do I use anything for my phase 1 for my phase 2 or not?
Kevin?
I haven't seen the stuff. There's supposed to be some boards that are where the MEDO things would be, but I guess we don't have those yet, right? So
Okay.
I don't. Oh, wait a second. You have this.
This is my burn.
Oh, okay. Yeah. No. So I haven't seen what the phase 2 stuff is going to be from MEDO for
Okay.
putting the chips in there. I think it's going to be something like this, but I think you're actually going to get a separate kit.
Okay.
But that's a really good question that we'll have to ask somebody more knowledgeable.
It is a good question. I know the sizes are correct
They're
and
the
the
same.
connectors are the same. There's for the MEDO boards, there's a big motherboard that goes along that side there, and then there's
Okay.
the potential for 3 of those MEDO chips in there, and then it can go 2 layers as well.
So there'll be something that'll connect the 2 layers vertically, but I don't know exactly which things those are going to be. I think you're getting a different chipset for that. I think that's
Okay.
actually going to be the space grade
Thought so.
chips,
Okay.
and so I don't think we have those quite yet.
I think that you can use these phase 1 chips for these 2 slots. This
Uh-huh.
3rd one here has to have a cutout because of that little chunk
Uh-huh.
taken out of the frame. But for these 2 and the 2 on the upper level, I think you can use these. And of course you have to have the motherboard along the side
Uh-huh.
here that they connect in from that way, and then there's the payload connector right there.
So I guess my question is, like, Monday for class,
Mhm.
we'll do all this.
Mhm.
And I'll have them go through the hacks and we can figure out exactly what it is,
Yeah.
letter per letter.
Yeah.
Then how do I get my temperature data from here to there? I mean, you think I can use one of these sensors or?
There'll be temperature data already in the health and safety.
Okay.
If you want this health and this temperature
Mhm.
sensor, you'll have to have the phase 2 kit from Mito.
Okay.
Because you really have to have that motherboard strip
Okay.
there that plugs into there. Now, what you could do actually, I don't know if you can do this with Mito or not, is no, that's not. You can't do that. Forget that. But if you're able to plug into that payload connector there, there's 6 analog inputs and 4 digital inputs that you can just connect a voltage to, and you can see that varying through the health and safety
Okay.
packets.
Do you know what the voltage range is? But be careful because you could
0
blow
to
this.
5.
Yeah, so if you
Yeah.
suddenly put
Yeah.
9 volts in, that would be bad.
Right, that's the
Yeah,
point.
yeah, we wouldn't want that.
Yeah, so if you really don't know your electronics, you should probably not go poking stuff in there.
Yeah, I
Okay.
think that's outlined in the ICD.
Okay, and when will we get this kit or whatever to put in there, or,
When this, I mean, this is your kit.
okay,
The Mito kit, I think they're waiting on some parts to come back. They're anticipating being able to ship them out in 2 weeks, I believe.
Okay.
That's the last I heard.
So that would be late March?
Yeah,
okay.
I think so. We're kind of developing
As we go, yeah.
independently, us and Mito. So yeah, we're not totally sure what their plan is or their schedule is.
Okay.